Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed a bit of sarcasm or satire in my last segment. Definitely watch my last segment because people are making a big deal. This is the new media obsession. 7 hours of phone conversations, possibly deleted by Orange Menace. This is huge. This, however, relates directly to the Durham Probe, and I don't think it would have happened without the Durham Probe. I think John Durham had a direct input, or this took place directly because of the Durham Probe Special Counsel. This is absolutely huge. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. DNC Clinton campaign agreed to pay FEC fines over Fusion GPS payments for Trump Dossier. This is a huge thing. The basis for Trump Russia was purchased. It was purchased. It was literally obtained through money. FEC found probable cause that Hillary for America DNC misreported the purpose of certain disbursements. Well, the whole thing was funneled, and I was talking about this. I've been talking about this since 2016. I used to be the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post, and the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. Those articles and the links to those articles and those statements are on my website, hagoodman.com. You can see my writing in The Hill, the Huffington Post, Salon, the Jerusalem Post, and the Federalist. Below, in the pinned comment, is my Federalist article predicting the impending stock market crash that we're kind of seeing in slow motion. But we're going to have a devastating stock market crash. We're heading into a recession. But you have a situation. The Federal Election Commission has reportedly fined Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign and the Democratic National Committee over complaints that they violated federal law in improperly describing expenditures to the law firm Perkins Coie, and then hired research firm Fusion GPS to dig up dirt on then-candidate Donald Trump. The whole thing with Trump is that they impeached him because he tried to pressure a foreign leader that actually stated, and if you listen to his words back then, he was honest. He stated, hey, Trump never pressured me. But they impeached him anyway. The whole thing is Trump is trying to always find dirt on his political opponent, God forbid. But you can't get any dirt on any Democrats, because then you'll get impeached. The Coolidge-Reagan Foundation published a letter said to be from the FEC in response to the foundation's complaint against Hillary for America and the DNC. The Washington Examiner first reported the memo. Wow. After conducting an investigation into this matter, the commission found probable cause to believe the DNC Service Corporation, that's the corporation being sued by Trump, in addition to 40 plus other people. Democratic National Committee, Virginia McGregor, and her official capacity as treasurer, broke 52 U.S.C. Okay, so all of these legal statutes. The commission further found probable cause to believe that Hillary for America and Elizabeth Jones in her capacity as treasurer violated and then numerous other statutes. Wow. This is exactly what the Durham Probe needs, or I know that this was these fines, FEC fines, wouldn't have taken place without other individuals as well. But the Durham Probe, I do believe, played a huge role in the FEC finally saying, okay, you have an indicted attorney from that law firm, Michael Sussman. You have an indicted subsource, Danchenko, for the Steele dossier. You have a bureau official who lied to FISA judges. This is absolutely huge. This is further confirmation. We already knew this. If you watch this channel, we already knew this. If you read my writing, I wrote about this a great deal. In the Huffington Post, in the Daily Caller, in the Federalist, I've written a great deal about this. And asked by Fox News to confirm the FEC sent the memo. A commission representative said FEC staff members are not authorized to comment on enforcement matters. The representatives added the FEC has 30 days after notifying parties to make documents public. This is consistent with the memo, which says documents related to the case will be made public in 30 days. Fox News reached out to the DNC for comment, but they did not immediately respond, so they would have said, no, this is nonsense. The FEC almost certainly would have said, no, that's nonsense if it's not true. And so the research conducted by Fusion GPS ultimately included the notorious Trump dossier, which was completely unverified and complete nonsense, completely bogus. Washington Examiner scoop, FEC fines DNC and Clinton for Trump dossier hoax. This is Washington Examiner, along with the Federalist. Federalist is fantastic. I've been very fortunate to be published a number of times. You can go to my author page, H.A. Goodman Federalist. In the Federalist, it's a fantastic publication. Washington Examiner is also really wonderful. Washington Examiner, you get a lot of great scoops and great analysis and great reporting in the Federalist and also in the Washington Examiner. FEC fines DNC and Clinton for Trump dossier hoax. So now you see the official letter. You could just go to the Washington Examiner and see it. This is a really, really huge. If the FEC is fining the DNC, if the FEC has fined the DNC, okay, we already know that there are campaign finance violations. If they try to get Trump on campaign finance violations, Stormy owes him money. And the Mueller probe found nothing with Trump Jr. But the DNC there's campaign finance violations for purchasing a dossier full of lies and deceitful statements simply to spread a whole bunch of nonsense. The whole thing was a bunch of lies. That's the issue here. We had an entire political establishment believing a compilation of lies and deceitful statements about Trump. If we couldn't even tell the truth about Hunter's emails, you couldn't even tell the truth. So, that's the thing. If it's the truth about Hunter's emails, the absolute truth, the New York Post is suspended. If the truth about one political party is silenced and fabricated allegations about another political party are amplified, what happens to our pristine democracy? What happens? What happens to our pristine democracy? So the thing, ladies and gentlemen, is the following, okay? The thing is, when you look at the way media is an extension of the Democratic Party. It never used to be with Peter Jennings and Ted Koppel and Sam Donaldson and David Brinkley and who else? So many wonderful old school Walter Cronkite. So many wonderful old school reporters and journalists. They didn't really care. They didn't really care if Republicans or Democrats won or lost. They were not activists. Media, you have a generation of journalists that are almost always trying to disparage political opponents. So you saw that with Russell Brand, okay? You might see that with Alex Epstein. I hadn't checked today, but he was telling the world the other night, this is an energy expert, the Washington Post was going to run a hit piece on him. I don't know if the article is out or what the deal is with that. I haven't checked yet. But you have people, on a microscopic level, they did this to me. The Daily Beast published an article just to disparage me. Why? My only sin was being the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post. And now, of course, there were articles, oh my God, he became a Trump supporter. Yeah, I became a Trump supporter. I want a great economy. I want a great foreign policy. I don't want the economy to go into a recession and a horrendous foreign policy with mashed potato brains right now. And all the corruption on their side. Look, the epicenter of corruption was the Republican Party 20 years ago. The epicenter of corruption is the Democratic Party right now. And 20 years ago, media was an extension of the Bush administration to a large degree. Media was an extension. And you had the same intelligence services deceiving the entire planet, the same ones you do now. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Huge, huge, huge victory for Trump, the Durham Probe Special Counsel, and the FEC. Finally, it took only, 6 years? Finally, the FEC did exactly what it should have done. Hit subscribe. Huge news.